This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the Bigger Picture webinar for Sunday, the 11th of August. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what we're doing, learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right. Okay, this is the first one of the Bigger Picture webinars. This is what I'm going to be doing twice a week as a successor to Chart Chat. So I'm actually going to make a few changes, not so much today, although I've made some changes today, but I'm going to be expanding quite a lot of the long-term stuff on a number of these instruments. And obviously, we still should end up with shorter webinars because, of course, Stan won't be contributing to them. Anyway, so bear with me while I'm making some alterations for that. I've got an awful lot of charts to update and create and put in order, but this is the first one. This one is a pre-record. I'm normally going to prefer to do things live, so once I suspect Wednesday and Friday I'll be doing them live. Wednesday is going to be before the market opens. The Sunday one I think will usually be a public one, one where an audience is invited, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, right. Yes. Now, I was saying in the pre-market video on Friday morning that we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. We've still got one. We went back and retested the high. We've got a little potential double top here and waiting to see whether we get a turn here. I've got a lot more to say about these on the RTH charts, but we'll just run through these first. NQ. NQ, not a bad looking little flag setup. These all look like flag setups forming. We've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed here too. No signal on RTY. Could be a triangle, but for it to be a flag, really, we need to see a higher high over this high, which we haven't seen yet. On YM, we have seen a higher high, and we've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed there too. DAX, we saw a higher high, nice looking flag setup, and ESDX, we saw a higher high as well, nice looking flag setup. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts on those. All right, let's have a look at. I'm reorganizing, and I'm going to be doing things in a slightly different order. So basically, I've put all the equity charts together, including DAX and Nikkei. So let's go through SPX, NDX, and Dow first, because I've also reordered the charts because it's to make them slightly more user-friendly navigating around. Okay, yes. The RSI 14 sell signal made target. Obviously, we had last Monday's low. We've seen a decent rally off that. I was saying just after we came down and did this retracement that this could be a flag that had broken down with the target at the lows, but we could form a larger flag. I drew in this resistance trend line as the ideal target for that larger flag if it formed, and it has gone and exactly touched that target. This could well be a complete flag. We'll have a look at the other indices, and we'll have a look at how that's looking. Do we have any negative divergence? No, and actually we don't have a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed here either. So sorry, I need to update that. On the 15-minute, not reaching any obvious levels, and we're not going to reach any obvious levels for a while. We've got the, if this is a flag forming, and I've got to say, I did find this really nice looking trend line here, and this could be a bull flag support trend line, and I'm always looking out for bull flags when we make a high on SPX particularly, because something like 70% of all highs and lows on SPX involves some kind of a high or low retest. So I'm always looking for flags because that's the obvious way to go. Okay, looking at the Bollinger Bands, we are a long way below the daily middle band, which I've got at 54.42, and the new weekly pivot is at 52.74, so I'll be watching that for potential support this week. We will see how that goes. All right, let's have nothing really much to report. We got slightly back over the weekly middle band, but I mean that actually really means we never broke below it because we opened a lot below it, but basically both weeks we closed above it. Last week and the week before. So that actually isn't a failed break. That's not actually on a weekly basis a break at all. So waiting to see if that's going to follow through to the downside. I am wondering whether we're going to see resistance low. And to be honest, the argument that this is a bear flag forming has not been weakened by exactly going to my trend line there. All right, let's have a look at NDX on the daily chart there. We're again a long way below the weekly middle band, which I've got at 19.079. We do have an RSI 5 bicycle fix on the daily, but that hasn't delivered yet. On the 5-minute, Hasn't reached my trend line, but this would be an acceptable. Flag. We've made a higher high, and we've done that again on Dow, where again we've made a higher high here. Actually, I was having a look, and this alternate trend line here, which I didn't draw in because I was using this low here. This alternate trend line actually is perfect. This would be first hit, that would be an overthrow. So actually this is a pretty nice looking bear flag, which looks as though it's overthrown bearishly already. We'll see how that develops, but at the moment this looks like a head and shoulders, and we've not seen a breakup since the Sunday Open, so we will see. All right, a long way below the Bollinger Bands on those two as well, so we shall see. All right, let's have a look at the others. IWM. Now, IWM on the 5 minute, I drew in a possible bear flag wedge resistance trend line there, and we haven't reached it, and we haven't made a higher high over this high here at 207.96. What does this mean? Not necessarily anything. This could be a triangle forming. No, obviously, really nice trend line for that, but no reason this couldn't fail here and still be a flag. We shall see. Again, a long way below the daily band. Here I've got that in the 216 area, and obviously that's 10 above where it is at the moment. Looking at DAX, DAX, no current divergence. Nice rally off the lows. Here we had a head and shoulders which almost exactly made target, but we could still set up positive divergence at a low if we saw a low retest, and we've got quite an attractive rising support trend line which I've got currently in about the 16,700 area. On Nikkei, nice bounce there too. Again, we had a topping pattern, again, that very suddenly made the target on Monday. Could we get positive divergence here? Yes, but if we would need to see a retest of the low. We could get a lot of buy signals potentially if we were to see retest of the low. We will see how that goes this week. And I'm also, in the event that we go down and continue down, I'll be looking at targets, but really, we're near quite a few of them now, and I am wondering about flags here. If we were to retest the low and set up double bottoms and reject strongly from there, we could go up and directly make high retests. We shall see.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, let's have a look at DX. Now, DX, we saw a nice little rally off here. This could well be a bear flag, and this could well be about to break down again. We will see how that goes. The winning weekly pivot is at 102.76, and I'll be watching that as a potential support level. So we shall see. Let's have a look at that on the bigger picture charts. On the US dollar chart, we do have a potential bull flag here. We went a little low here for the ideal on the support trend line, but this still could be a flag. Alternatively, there's an alternative take that this original trend line I drew here is the flag support trend line, and this is actually breaking against the usual break for, rather than breaking up, which is what a bull flag does 70% of the time, this is breaking down, which is what a bull flag does 30% of the time. If that's the case, then that would have a target down here in about the 100.75 area, and this would be the back test of that broken trend line. I think that looks quite credible. So if we see a breakdown directly from here, I'll be looking for first that 100.75 area, and second, really, the retest of 99.22. We shall see. How we're looking on the bigger picture. On the bigger picture, I am still looking on a breaking conversion of the monthly middle band, which we are working on a weekly middle band at the moment, and the monthly middle band is at 103.70. We're working on both of those right now. Break and convert those, and that opens this target here, which is the rising support trend line, which is coming up to the 95 area. Do we have any support above that? Yeah, I'd particularly be watching the 200. No, not the 200 DMA, the 50 DMA at 99.8, but that's basically just backing up the obvious support of 100. We shall see. All right, let's have a look at oil. On CL, I was talking about last week on the pre-market webinars this IHS, which is broken up with the target in the 77.5 area. I was quite liking it to make target there, and at the moment it looks as though it's going to make target there, and it got pretty close. It got pretty close last week. We shall see. Looking at NG, nice little rally off the lows here. Nothing in terms of divergence on the hourly chart, but I'm liking it on the daily chart too. This might just be a rally before we go down and retest the low at 1.52. There's no reason particularly to think that rally is over at the moment. Let's have a look at those on the bigger picture charts. Okay, on US dollar, on WTIC and CL, no current divergence, but obviously we've got a really nice looking flag channel here actually. So I'm watching that and wondering about a retest this high here at 84.36. That could well be the second high of a double top if we get there. But this is a perfect channel, and I'm wondering about a move up there. On the bigger picture, on the WTIC chart, we've got an RSI 5 daily buy signal fixed. We are reaching the daily middle band, which I've got at 77.26. And if we see it break up, then the obvious target is this triangle resistance, because I was talking when we reached this triangle support about how if we broke down, then we might see a move down to slightly under 72 to this trend line, and we went and we touched it exactly. This is, until demonstrated otherwise, a triangle. The next obvious target would be triangle resistance, which I've got up in about the 83 area. So I'm wondering whether it's going to reach that. Break and convert the daily pivot. We've got a couple of other resistance levels too. We've got the, what have we got? We got the 200 DMA at 78. We've got the 50 DMA at 78.72, and we've got the 100 DMA at 80. So we've got that ribbon of moving averages to get back over. But the first one is the daily middle band, and we're pretty close to that now. Nothing on the bigger picture really to be aware of. So it's really all about that short-term triangle. So we shall see. All right, NG. We've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed, and the RSI 5 buy signal has reached the possible near miss target. The obvious resistance up here is the possible IHS neckline in the 2.3 area. Looking at the very different looking chart here, I am wondering whether we have another triangle forming here. If so, we could make it up to triangle resistance, which I've got almost pretty much in the 3 area at the moment. At the moment, we're still negotiating our way over the daily middle band. I've got that at 2.09, where trying to convert that to support at the moment, and at the moment the bands are fairly narrow and the upper band is at 2.26. But we could go up a long way from here. Ideally, if we were going to do that, we would hit this 2.3, come back for a right shoulder, and that could give us an inverted head and shoulder target, which would be up and about the 2.72 area. That would be a nice way to see a next leg up start. Obviously, that's currently theoretical, but it's the sort of thing that could quickly become a reality if we get up to 2.3 and then pull back. We shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at GC. All right, GC, we've got tracking sideways. I think we're waiting for a real decision on the dollar here, but at the moment I'm really quite liking the dollar down, and we're back over the new week pivot and the monthly pivot at 24.61, and I'm liking this higher. As long as the dollar cooperates, I like this higher. We do have a possible 6-minute sell signal brewing, but that's only a possible at the moment. Looking at SI, we've got a little double bottom trying to break up here, and obviously we've got a larger potential double bottom or possible inverted head and shoulder neckline, which is in about the 29.4 area. Waiting to see what happens, just under the monthly pivot at 29.47, so I like patterns forming at the monthly pivots. We will see how that goes. Looking at copper, potential bottoming action here, hasn't broken up from the smaller double bottom yet. We will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at those on the big picture. Okay, gold. GC, no current divergence, but pretty close to all-time highs, and wouldn't take a great deal to get back there. Nothing to really see on the gold on the daily chart. Bit of potential trendline resistance above. There's not a lot. What I would say is we are still on an RSI 5 sell signal and RSI 14 sell signal on the weekly, which is a slight concern. Nothing on the monthly. All right, looking at silver. Silver, no current divergence. We had a bit here, but it's only low quality. It's not the quality I'd normally mark in. We do have some potential bottoming action here, and I'd like to see it back over the daily middle band, which I've got in the 28.75 area. On the silver index, looks pretty similar. Daily middle band's in the 28.75 area as well. And I've got a weekly RSI 5 sell signal, but that's now reached the possible near miss target. We're really not looking at a great deal in terms of signals. We've got a very old monthly sell signal on the RSI 14, which normally I wouldn't pay any attention to, and in this case I wouldn't tend to pay any attention to it either. All right, palladium. Palladium on the daily chart, an RSI 5 buy signal is fixed. Possible bottoming action here, watching for the potential inverted head and shoulder necklines at 933 and 927. See a right shoulder pullback from either of those, and we could have an inverted head and shoulders forming. On platinum, no current divergence. possibly forming a low here. Not a great deal to indicate that at the moment. This trend line here is in dotted, and it's very theoretical because I don't really have anything to hang it on to at the beginning. Looking at copper. Copper, possible weak RSI 14 buy signal brewing, a weak RSI 5 buy signal is fixed, and a full-size one is brewing. I'm really liking the signal setup here, but obviously we need to see some buyers show up and buy stuff. So to get the ball moving properly. We will see how that goes. Are we at a significant level? Yes, we're at a 61.8% retracement of this move up from 3.13. Quite a lot of support and resistance in this area, so we will see how it goes. If it breaks down from here, then the next big support layers are considerably lower, closer to 3. But we will see. We are a long way from that at the moment. Okay, looking at GDX. GDX, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed. Not anything I'm taking too seriously, but there is potential bottoming action here. Topping action here, and I'm watching the possible head and shoulder neckline at 33. GDXJ, nothing to talk about really. GDXJ, GDX 6 minute rather. GDXJ, not a lot to say here either. I have got us reaching a potential head and shoulder neckline. I'm wondering whether this could be a right shoulder, but really I'm expecting that chances are these are going to be heading upwards. On GDXJ on the 60 minute, nothing really much to say. We will see how it goes. All right, great. Let's have a look at bonds. So ZB. Right, ZB, we saw a strong push up, and then we've seen a pullback, and then a break over the declining resistance. Is this going to move up? Yeah, maybe. But I've got more to say about this on TNX. Let's have a look at that. Okay, TNX on the hourly chart. I'm wondering whether we are heading down to. Right. I'm wondering whether we're heading down to a trend line below. I've got that on the daily chart, and I've got that in about the 35 area. Really, on the daily chart, you can see the levels much better. I've got a possible head and shoulder neckline here in about the 32.25 area, and I'm wondering whether we're going to be hitting that soon. No current divergence on the daily chart. Retest that low and bounce there, and we could potentially set up a daily RSI 14 buy signal. Not a lot to say on the bigger picture, apart from there's definitely scope to go lower here. And at the moment, it looks as though it's probably going to be heading lower. I'm not seeing any particular reason to think this is going to see a bounce here. So we shall see. All right, great. Let's move on to commodities.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so let's have a look at commodities. We've got KC. KC, we've still got a flag. It's broken up. We could be forming a larger flag here, but really at the moment we've still got an open target at 255, and we might just be pulling back before we go and make that target. Quite a deep pullback though. Let's have a look at SB. SB, nice looking double bottom, and actually this whole thing here is potentially a large double bottom. This is a very nice nested bottom setup. We've got a weak 60-minute sell signal fixed. We could see some more downside, but after that I'm very much liking the upside. On CC, wondering about a possible flag here to take this lower. Waiting to see. This could be a triangle flag, and it's quite a nice looking trend line for that at the moment, but we'll see how that goes. All right, looking at CT, nice looking double bottom here. More about to say about all of these on the daily. On wheat, nice looking double bottom. On corn, nice looking double bottom. On soy, nice-ish looking double bottom, but it would be nice if it would stop going down. But at the moment, these are all quite nice looking reversal setups, which could take the grains generally higher. And cotton. Lumber, nice looking double bottom, which is heading towards the 535 to 545 target area, and at the moment is getting pretty close to that. I'm expecting that to make target. No current divergence. On live cattle, we have a possible bear flag forming here, and it looks an awful lot like a bear flag. If so, I've got the obvious target area starts down in about the 175.25 area, and we will see whether it gets there next. On lean hogs, we've got a nice looking bull flag forming, and I think the obvious next move would be to break up here, retest this high, and we will see how that goes. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. On KC, CC. No current divergence. Wondering about a possible larger flag here. Maybe get down to the support area here in the 2.16 area, but this could just be a pullback before we go back up and retest 2.553. Sugar, really like double bottom here, and possible larger double bottom here as well. That looks very nice. CC. Possible flag here to come back and retest this low, but the really obvious target would be a move up towards this triangle resistance in about the 7900 area. This does look an awful lot like an overall bullish triangle forming, in which case we would be heading up to 7900 area next. A, B, C, D. Then I'd expect to look to pull back mainly to the 7000 area, and then we go back and retest the high at 10,070. On wheat. We've got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed. RSI 5 buy signals made the possible near miss target. Nice bottoming setup here, just needs to break up. Corn, RSI 14 buy signal fixed. Nice bottoming setup here, just needs to break up. Soy, we've got a weak RSI 14 buy signal fixed. Nothing on the RSI 5, but it's a nice bottoming setup here. It just needs to break up. Kind of a theme developing here. We could be looking at a significant low on the grains, but obviously we need to find some buyers to really get the ball rolling on that. On cotton, we've still got an RSI 14 buy signal fixed. We've got an RSI 5 buy signal fixed. We've got a nice looking double bottom. We should see some action to the upside here, at least a decent rally. We will see whether or not we'll get it, but we will see. If we were to see a sustained break over the 80.2 area, I'd be looking for a minimum target in the 84 area. 70.2, that would take us back to about the 74 area. That could get us back or potentially above this declining resistance, which I've currently got in the 73 area. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. I'm just doing the cryptos on the crypto Substack now, so I'll be doing webinars there every day. So check those out if you're interested in cryptos as well. That covers everything. I'm going to be making some changes over the next month here. So this is going to be evolving, but this is the first one. And if you like watching these live and asking questions, the next one will be live, and they will usually be live. All right, great. Everyone, good luck for next week. Let's see.